Uncensored, starring Kelly Taylor. Please welcome Kelly Taylor.
Okay, that's good. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Because you guys are like, from Saskatchewan, this guy's going to be terrible. Who still lives there? It's weird being a comic from Saskatchewan, because wherever you travel, like I was in Vancouver doing a comedy fest, and like, where are you from? I was like, Saskatchewan. Like, oh, wow, where do you live now? It's all right. And then they're from BC, so they think they're fantastic because they have mountains. And I was like, who cares? I don't mountain climb. I'm not a skier. Like, I'm a comedian. I drive places. Mountains just get in my way. You know, you're out in BC, you go to grab a disc or something, you fade off, hit the ditch a little bit, you go off a cliff and die. You know, the prairies, you fade off, hit the ditch, you just pull back up on the highway. And then do 2 minutes of this. Holy moly! Holy, oh my God! Holy, pass me a beer, oh my God. And I like how we only to give drinking and driving commercials during the Christmas season. Just, don't drink and drive, only during the Christmas season. That same commercial comes out every year. Just a camera in the driver's seat and beer mugs come up on the dash. It's like... Then after 4 of those beer mugs up on the dash, this car just goes barreling in the back of a bus, just... Then the message comes up. It's like, drinking and driving will impair your vision. Yeah, no doubt, when you start hucking beer mugs up on the dash, it does get tough to see. And who's throwing beer mugs up on the dash? Come on, throw a beer bottle at a sign. And who's got mugs and needs a brand new one every single time? Oh, seriously, I already used this one. I need them down. Let's go. Let's go, please. There we go. Oh, man. It is, I used to actually play hockey before I got into comedy, too. I was a goalie. I had a career-ending injury, couldn't play anymore. I took a slap shot in the left one. Oh, thank you for laughing at that. Got it crushed and couldn't play anymore. People are like, oh, my God, that ended your hockey career? You couldn't play anymore? Physically, I could still play. It's just my goaltending sucked after that. Nobody wanted me on their team because I wasn't about to lose the other one. I was like, go ahead, take the corners. I'm good here. Thank you. I'm good. You get hit there, too, as a guy. That's one spot in your body. You don't even swear when you get hit there. Anywhere else, when you hurt yourself, you just go on like a swearing rampage. You get hit there, it's like you get the flu instantaneously. Like, I went to make a save. I went to stack the pads. It came under. It hit. It was like... My defenseman came skating in. He's like, woo, Taylor, buddy, you took that one right in the Packers, eh? And here's his advice to me. He goes this, oh, yeah, just skate that one off. Really? Just skate that one off? Now I'm cutting a lap. It's like, oh, right on. My nuts feel fantastic. Oh. That's why I was a goalie. That's how I skated. And hockey, too. My dad used to drink the Hockey Night in Canada every Saturday. Like, it was a tradition. Like, if we had to go do something, we'd go to my auntie's. I was like, well, isn't Dad coming? Oh, it's Hockey Night in Canada. He gets the drink to it. I was like, whoa, I want that tradition when I get married. So that's what I told my wife. We went to get married. I was like, well, I drink every Saturday. You can't bug me. Hockey Night in Canada. Like, okay, nice. And now I have this, except there was a lockout season, and then I had nothing to drink to. It's like, now I need something to drink to on Saturdays. Yeah, so I drank to curling. Which is nice. That starts at 10 in the morning. You gotta set your drunk for that alarm. Maybe I shouldn't have had a drink before the show here. That's what it is, too. My mom always, she gets worried. She's like, because you're always around booze in this. She's like, you better watch it, alcoholism. She goes, it's a disease. I was like, well, that has to be the best disease out there. Like, can you imagine if you just had a wheel and you were gonna get a disease, you just spin a big wheel, you're like, holy man, come on, alcoholism. Woo, right on, alcoholism! Awesome, what'd you get? Flesh-eating disease, holy, tough one. What's the side effects of that? Eats your flesh, oh. I'm not trading, get out of here. Where does it say side effects? I'll tell you, where's my... Oh, yeah, good times. This is good. This is all right. But the thing is, if you're a drinker, too, and you're a smoker, like, as soon as you have your first sip of booze, you can't think of anything else but smoking. I shouldn't even mention smoking right now, because now there's smokers like, we should go for a cigarette right now. Probably exit. We could catch the tail end of this. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I shouldn't have mentioned it, because now, if you want to smoke, you can't even listen to what people are saying. Because you have your first sip of booze, you're like, oh, I need a smoke. I need a cigarette. I need a cigarette. I need a cigarette. People are talking. He's like, need a cigarette. Need a cigarette. Need a cigarette. Need a cigarette. I compare it to trying to look at someone with chapped lips and actually listen to what they're saying. You're like, get some chapstick. Get some chapstick. Lick your lips. Lick your lips. And this is what my mom gives me to quit smoking. She doesn't give me like Nicorette or the patch. She gave me a bag of sunflower seeds. I was like, what are these for? I don't have a baseball game today. It's whenever you have a craving. What? Who in the history of ever has finished making sweet love to their partner, leaned over after, is like, hey, that was awesome. Want to pass me that bag of sunflower seeds, please? Okay. Want to pass me that empty Slurpee cup too, please? Why do they make the scoop straw? I hate that. Who actually has a whole slush with just one scoop? That's stupid. Put a piece of driftwood in here. Whatever, it's salty. And my dad picks his teeth. My dad, after a meal, picks his teeth with anything that's around. And we'll be like at a restaurant, and he grabs like a sugar packlet off the middle of the table, and he starts like cleaning his teeth with the corners of the packlet. I know, and then he puts it back. Right on, Dad, way to go. That's disgusting. Oh, man, that's good. The Olympics are on. It's too bad it's not winter. A little better. We're good at speed skating. That's good. That's good. I always wondered, too, if that's the fastest way to skate, like right off the hop, how come you never see like a left winger or right winger line up like that for a face-off? Like it's in your defensive zone, you need a quick breakout, end of the game. They're like, hey, Sundin, if you win the draw, McCabe, be looking for me. I'll be busting up the wing. And hockey, too, hardest sport to streak at. Out of all major sports, everyone's seen that one guy who tried to streak. I think it was at a Flames-Bruins game. Like the worst. And the thing is, because you're on a ball diamond or anything, you can just get on the field level and streak. But hockey, you got plexiglass all around. And unless you got suction cups with you to climb up there, that's an awkward boost to ask from someone. No one wants to give that boost. Just, hey, man, you mind giving me a boost? Right on, you're gonna streak, you should, that's all. No, actually, that's, well, whatever. Oh, nice, hey, let's go. But everyone see when this guy went to streak, he got to the top of the plexiglass, and he went to go over, and he got his leg caught, and he took a header, hit his head, knocked himself out. And I was like, that has to be the worst streaking ever. But it's funny now, they show it on TV, but you gotta censor it, right? Because you can't show twig and berries on TV. So what do they do by censoring it? All they do is they just blur out his crotch. Just. I'm looking at that thinking, hey, Taylor, you should streak. Yeah, I should. Because I talk to myself, like, yeah, I should streak, I should streak. Except what I would do when I'd streak is before I went out there naked like that, is I would get a Sharpie and I would write something on my leg. And I'd write something really offensive on my leg. And I'd write it from like my crotch to my knee. It'd be so offensive, you'd have to blur that out too. Oh yeah, my buddies would be at home like, hey, get in here, Taylor's streaking on you. Oh my God! And it's cold out there too. $2,000 fine, I don't care. You can't pay for that kind of publicity. Sign me up. Oh, that's the biggest thing. I work mainly in the States now, so I get homesick. Like, I miss hockey all the time. I miss, like, hockey and the snow whenever. Well, I don't know about the snow. That's probably a lie right there. It's all right, but snow, everyone shovels snow the same way, too. Like, you get out there and you're just, oh, man, look at it snowed outside. And then you get, like, real excited if it's just the fluffy stuff. You're like, oh, right on. And you put in, like, the littlest amount of effort you can possibly put in. You're like, oh, it's just the fluffy stuff. So you just prop the shovel up on your crotch and cruise. But then that move's only good until you hit that crack in the sidewalk. Sidewalk's a little Jimmy jammed over there. Watch out for that. Oh my God. And everyone too, if you're a comedian, everyone thinks if you're a comedian too, you smoke weed. That's what everyone thinks. Oh, you're a comedian, you smoke weed. Like, I finished a show. I was in Edmonton a couple weeks ago, and after a show, a couple Japanese guys come to a show. Like, hey, Kelly, funny stuff. Do you want to go smoke a gaga? I was like, thank you very much. That's a nice offer. Yeah, I do. Let's go. Right on. Sweet. Totally out. Let's do this. And I'm excited because we're going to have some smoke. And I'm extra excited because I want to see what happens to these guys. Because when I smoke weed, my eyes turn into slits. Old Hideki was 2 hoots. He's like, hey, where'd everybody go? Oh, we should get a pizza or something. No pineapples. That's right, I said it. No pineapples. Sorry for that. That's a bad impression. And you ever see right now, too, everyone's on the fad for, like, the Chinese writing tattoos? No matter who you are, everyone gets them. My buddy's 6'4", Ukrainian. I was like, hey, Mike, what you got there on your back? It's Chinese. Thanks, tips. What does it mean? Like, oh, it means, like, live long in peace and prosperity. Okay. I don't think there's any Chinese people going to the English tattoo parlors getting English writing. Put English writing on my back, please. Live long in peace and prosperity. Don't forget the comma and the period. Oh, man, it seems like this internet thing's around to stick. It's gonna stick around. I thought it was like a fad, like ping pong in my basement. I didn't even get into it. But the nice thing about it is I like Google because when people tell you something and then you it smells like a lie, you're like, I'm gonna Google that later. You always have that thing in the back of your head, just got a list of things to Google that sounds like lies. Like, I went to pluck a gray hair out of my head. My buddy's like, hey man, don't pluck that. It's like, why? It's like, you get 5 more. Like, that smells like a lie. So I Google it. And what do you think, myth or truth? Oh, anyone on truth? Yeah, it's a myth. Because I looked it up and I was like, because it says that no one would be bald. You pluck a hair, 5 more, and then no one would be bald. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So I was like, oh, well, I'm at it. I'm going to put a few more myths to rest. So I was like, pipe it in. You know what else is a myth? I grew up thinking was a truth. Whoever smelt it, dealt it. I know, I was astonished. Blown away. Couldn't believe it. So I scroll down and check who the culprit is. It's actually who's about to explode with laughter when other people smell it is the person. Everyone's done it. You get a little pressure in your stomach. You're like, wow, I'll just let a little PSI off here. Just a little, and it just, you're like, whoa. Whoa. And you know it stinks because it came out hot. It comes out hot, you got yourself a little guarantee right there. And you know, and the anticipation almost is too much for you, like, because you know it's gonna stink. You'll even fake scratch your kneecap, like, whoa, that's gonna stink. Yeah, it does, it does. That smells exactly how I envisioned it. And now you just wait for someone to smell it. You're just like, oh, Brad's gonna get so mad. You could be doing anything. Like you could be getting the Stanley Cup. You're like, oh, sweet, right on. We're gonna win the cup. This is such. Oh my! Who crapped their pants? Whoever smelt it, dealt it, loser. That internet's. You know what else? I just found this out too. I never knew that the suicide bombers get 72 virgins. I just found that out. Wow, that explains why there'd be no women suicide bombers. That'd be a rotten deal in heaven. 72 virgins for you just get some 12-year-old boys. Hi, how's it going? I'm here. I'm your virgin. I'm done. Thank you. That feels awesome. That's amazing. That thing you have right there. I'll tell my friend Brad to get over here. He should be here shortly. I watch a lot of movies. You get lots of time to watch movies. Everyone seen the movie 300? Oh. It's good. Like, even right there, that cheer, girls and guys cheer different. Guys like, yeah! Girls like, woo! Woo! Because it's a bunch of guys with their shirts off all built. Girls like, woo! Guys like, oh, you start working out tomorrow. Right after this giant bag of popcorn. And popcorn's the only snack you try to get as much in your mouth every time, too. Yeah, I dare you to do that with a bag of tacos. Everyone eats tacos carefully. You grab a huge handful, then you just one at a time. These things are sharp, cut your mouth right up. But what a concept this movie is, 300 guys go to fight 1,000,000. What? How do you even begin to herd up a crew of guys that's gonna help you out with that? I can't get my buddies to help me move a couch, never mind that. You have to go into a bar, like catch a bunch of drunks late at night, just pop in. I'd just be sitting there like, hey, Taylor, what are you doing? Drinking? Why, what's going on? What? Who you gonna fight? I hate those guys. Let's do it. They're a bunch of pricks. I hate it. What time? Tonight? Maybe tomorrow? Late afternoon? Something? How many they got? How many guys? We got 300. Right on. Let's do it. How many they got? 1,000,000. I'm actually pretty strapped tomorrow. Right, busy. I don't know if I can help you out. Maybe if you get first pick of the weapons, then you go. Oh yeah, first pick of the weapons. Because you'd think it's mainly like swords and shields back then, but they got a couple other straggler weapons. And you would think the first one to go would have to be that spiky ball on the end of a chain. I think it has a better name than that, though. Oh, who wouldn't go for that first? Hey, just come, there's just a miscellaneous pile of weapons. You're like, oh, yes, I will take spiky ball on end of chain. Awesome, thank you. What a rotten deal, you get to fight that guy. You just cruise over with your sword, like, let's go, asshole. And like, okay, bring it on. Okay, start shooting some bow and arrows at this guy. Oh, just had a heart attack right there. Oh, I could never be in the army. I'd be way too lazy. It'd be like first day of army training. They'd be like, okay, we're gonna do 2 miles of marching. I'd be like, what? Oh, hey, who wants to go halvesies on a golf cart? I am right tuckered out right now. I wouldn't even be able to keep up with their steps, too. You always hear them, they're always in like perfect unison, just everything step perfect. Then they break out that chant, and that would throw me off. Like, it's always that left, left. I'd be like, what? Left, left, left. I gotta go, I almost crapped my pants. I almost crapped my pants last week on the highway. You laugh hard because that's the worst place to be. The worst place to be on a highway when that urge just hits you out of nowhere. You're just like... And everyone does the same thing when it hits, too. You do the test. Maybe it's just a fart. No, it's not. No, it's not. Start sweating and getting goosebumps at the same time. And the worst is having someone with you because they try to coach you through it. This is what my buddy says to me. He goes, oh, yeah, just try not to think about it. Try not to think about it, hey? My pucker hole is twitching like a rabbit's nose right now. That's my favorite joke. Take that visual home with you, please. I've done my job here. If you ever walk by a rabbit in the rest of your life, you're like... Don't worry, I made it to a gas station. I made it. See this gas station exit office. And I'm almost out of gas, too. And I was like, oh, kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Here we go. So I go to pull up to the gas pump, and I was like, oh, right on, here I am. And I go to get out, and I was like, all right. Whoops. Oop, you did. Gas tank's on the other side. Forgivable. Everyone's done it before. But what do? I jump back in the car, pull a Yui, go to get out again. Right on, gas tank's still on the other side. And you feel like a loser at that point because everyone in the gas station in line is looking at you like, look at this loser. Oh my God. What? Where's he from? Yeah, you're right, Saskatchewan. There you go. Toronto's actually home of my favorite basketball player played here ever. Favorite basketball. Remember Muggsy Bogues? Guy was 5'3", played in the NBA. 5'3". That's insane. The average height when he played, 6'7". So what? How can this guy play in the NBA at 5'3"? The average height is 6'7". That's insane. That's crazy. And they're like, well, he's the quickest guy in the league. It's like, well, hope so. Imagine the shower scene after that game at 5'3" with 6'7" dudes. Yeah. I'd want quick feet, too. Be like running through a gauntlet. It'd be like, oh, my God! I need to pick up my foot speed. Well, haven't sat like this since grade 6 assembly. Oh. man, I do lots of camping back home too. Mainly just for the people camp for just a drink. Like, I have an excuse to be drunk at an early hour. Like, are you hammered? It's like 9:30 in the morning. I'm camping. But it's Monday. Long weekend! Woo! And you have to be drunk to sleep in a tent, too. That is the worst sleep you can get. Because that's the one time out of the year, too, you get to sleep in a sleeping bag. Yeah, that's a lovely sleep. You jump in your sleeping bag, you're like... Oh, right on. Who wants to stretch out more than 1.5 feet? Yeah, I usually just sleep on a balance beam at home. This is nice in here. Yeah, sweet. You go to roll over, it's like, ah, what was that? Oh, cold zipper. Scared me. It startled me. Oh, man. Oh, I grew up my whole life, too. I don't know why. I never said anything to my mom. Like, I was the youngest of 5 kids anyway, so you never got what you wanted anyways. If you asked for something, my mom would be like, no. So I went through like 15 years of sleeping with the 2 worst pillows ever. One was like Kleenex skinny. You had to fold over like 15 times. It was like that big by the end. Like, oh, this is good. Can't move. I got my pillow in the perfect spot. And the other one was this massive one with had 2 extra arms off the side. It was that big. And you just had to sleep on the corner of it. You take up the whole other side of the bed. Can anyone sleep in there? It's a king. No, my pillow's got the other half over there. And then I switched and I got this terrible bed, and the sheet never fit. Like, it was, I think I had a double. I switched to my double. My brother moved over. I got a double with a single sheet. Is there anything more annoying than that sheet snapping off? In the middle of the night, you're just sleeping all nice, and you go to roll over, and you're like on the mattress, like, ah! But you're also like extra lazy right when you wake up, like you don't want to fix it. Like, let's face it, right when you wake up, you're at the peak of laziness. You can't get any lazier than right when you wake up. Like, even if you get woken up with the urge to go to the washroom, what's the first thing you'll do? You'll look at the clock and see if it's worth getting up to piss for. Oh, we've all day. You wake up, you're like, oh my God, what time is it? 7:30. I need to be up at 8. I'm just massive. That'll take too long for me to get back to sleep. I'll just lay here in massive crotch pain for another half hour. But you see 4 o'clock, then you'll take care of it, right? You see 4 o'clock, like, oh, I'm gonna have to take care of this to get it out of the way. But even then, when you go, you'll try to stay like as close to sleep as possible. Now, you don't want to restart sleep completely. That's way too much effort. So you won't turn on any lights. And if you're not turning on any lights, why even open up your eyes? So now you're going to the can and you're just playing it by feel. You're like, oh my God, I have to piss. Do I ever have to go to the bathroom? Oh my God, do I ever have to go to the bathroom? Do I? And then let's face it, if you're a guy, once you're in there, you're just playing it by sound. Whoopity, that ain't it. Who put a chip bag in the garbage can? I think that was a chip bag. Who's eating chips in the bathroom? Start like tickling yourself to stay sleepy. Stay sleepy, Colin. Tickling my butt. This is great. What? Stay sleepy. Oh, and then you don't do the right math of when you should end, and you get like a ricochet dribble off the edge of the toilet that hits your shin. You're like, ah! Ah! Good thing I wear socks to bed. You don't want to have a 4 a.m. shower. And then when you do crawl back into bed, too, you can have the smallest dribble, and as soon as it hits cloth, it just explodes. Like, it just a pin drop, and it's just like, And we always come back to snuggle our ladies, too, eh? Just come back in. Ladies should wear, that's why ladies wear pajama pants to bed, because if you just got your panties, that little cold spot hits the back of your ass, like, oh my God, you got piss on your underwear. Oh my God. Oh, and we lie. We're like, no, babe, I was just washing my hands and got on the counter. And then they catch you on that because like, I never heard the water go. Yeah, that's right. I got piss on me. You too, though. You too. I've never grown out of liking ice cream. Like every day, I could eat ice cream like a kid. I know it's so good. I always have to have it on a cone because if you don't have ice cream on a cone, there's no game to it. What can you do with ice cream in a bowl? Stir it. This used to be hard ice cream, now it's soft. I let it sit for about 10 minutes and then I just started stirring it. You can't get soft tiger. Look at this. Look at the color. What color is that? Yeah, because you get ice cream on a cone, there's like always like a checklist of things you do. Hey, you get ice cream on a cone. As soon as you get it, first thing is you look for any leaning balls. That sounds weird, look for any leaning balls. It sounds like a game you do in the locker room. You look, and then you get the foundation down, and the next is you're always worried about beads of ice cream hitting your cone. You don't want moist cones. How's it getting so fast over here? And then thirdly, you get rid of that sandpaper napkin they give you too. When the hell did sticky hands and sandpaper napkin make an awesome combo? Like, this feels fantastic. Is there a bucket of feathers I can put my hands into too? Nice, fantastic. There we go. Oh. And then the whole time you're eating your ice cream cone too, in the back of your head, always worried about getting ice cream to the bottom. Oh, yeah, you don't want your last bite of an ice cream cone just to be wafer and air. Just go take your last bite. So, totally miscalculated my ice cream push down right there. So like every third lick is like a tongue push down too. You're like, oh, right on, yep. And I was the youngest of 5 kids growing up too, so when all my brothers and sisters were home, my mom used to have a pail of ice cream, which is good for making ice cream cones. Hey, you just get your spoon, go around the edge, put it on, perfect, makes a nice ball. Then my brothers and sisters started moving out. My mom downgraded to that rectangle box of ice cream, had 4 flaps. It was brutal. All you could do is just stab your spoon in the middle, push it to the corner, you get like 2 right angles of ice cream, putting it on like mashed potatoes. Like, oh, this is brutal. And if that ice cream's hard at all, it just takes the neck of your spoon right back. And, oh, you never get it back to original form. Next guy, it's morning, someone's eating Captain Crunch. Like, who had hard ice cream yesterday? I know. I wish you'd let it stay up in the upstairs deep freeze. What did my mom say? The downstairs deep freeze was set to like rock mode. Yeah, get the ice cream out. When are we having it? Next week. Oh, fantastic. You ever walk into like a room where you don't know anyone? And the first thing you do is you look for someone, you know, you're like, is there someone I know? And then if you see someone, you go sit with them. I walked into my first university class and I was looking around. It was like this theater-style classroom. I was looking around for someone. I was like, I don't know anyone in here. Is that a midget over there? Like I can mistake her. Oh, no, that's a 6-foot gal. My bad. Whoop-a-daisy. So I see there's an empty seat beside this girl. I was like, wow, I'll go sit beside her. Right on. I go sit beside her. Best choice of my university career. I go sit beside her. We hit it off. We become friends. We help each other out with homework. Every noon we go to the caf together. Became good time friends. And this one Friday, I'm supposed to meet my roommate, Rob, at this one bar. He doesn't show up. We're guys. I'm not too worried about it. So I go home after, pass out. And Rob comes home later that night with my midget. Not my midget. I don't physically own her. I mean, like my friend. And here's the thing. Me and Rob, we lived in a duplex. We have one door. You walk in. We've got a living room, kitchen, my room, and then Rob's room was downstairs and the bathroom. So I wake up in the morning, I have no clue that Rob made it home. Like, I have no idea that she's there. And I'm the kind of guy, when I wake up in the morning, I don't actually need anyone around to start talking. I just wake up, be like, "Holy man, I got hammered last night, probably gonna eat McDonald's later." Then I just go lay on the couch. And she hears my voice. And Rob said when she heard my voice, she gets all like kind of freaked out. She's like, "Rob, you got a roommate?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Is your roommate Kelly Taylor?" He's like, "Yeah." And he said right at that point, she gets like all freaked out. Like, oh. And it's like, I don't care, big deal. Everyone likes sex, who cares? Like, I don't care if she comes upstairs. But Rob said she got like total freak out, wouldn't come upstairs. So here I am, I'm on the couch. We got one door, you have to walk by me to leave. And she would not come upstairs. So this is at the point where her and Rob devise a plan. And the plan entails her jumping in Rob's hockey bags. But here's the thing. If Rob comes up with his hockey bag Saturday at like 11 in the morning, I'll call him on it. We play senior hockey. It's scrub hockey. You play every Friday and Sunday night. There's no practice Saturday afternoon. There's no game Saturday afternoon. So if he comes up with his bag, I'll be like, hey, man, what's going on? So what he does, when she gets in the bag, he zips it closed, and he grabs a pen and a paper and writes midget in the bag with an arrow. So here I'm laying on the couch, and I can kind of hear the rustling of him coming upstairs. And then I can start to see his hockey bag come out of the kitchen. And as soon as I was like, what the heck? And as soon as he walks out, he starts quick talking. Like, he doesn't give me a chance to talk. And he walks out. I was like, hey, Taylor, how's it going, man? We ended up going to the Sutherland last night. Couldn't go to the pad. My buddy Mike went there. He wanted to fight his girlfriend. And as he's saying that, he shows me the sign. And apparently, you're supposed to read this sign in your head. I was like, midget in the bag? Best part was she popped her head out, waved, and he zipped her back up and took her out.